Greetings, everybody. This is JW with Rush Truck Centers in Southern Colorado. I am so excited to offer this presentation to you on the best practices for purchasing a truck in today's economy. This is probably one of the conversations that I have the most when you guys call me from all across the country. So if you have some time, pause this video, grab a notebook, and let's go ahead and help equip you so that you can be successful in purchasing your truck. The first thing we're going to talk about is transitioning to become an owner-operator, or if you're purchasing a truck coming from another industry or upgrading from a smaller medium-duty truck and maybe moving into the Class 8 sector. Understanding your abilities and where you are in your current economic and financial situation. Navigating the loan process and expectations. Managing your trade expectations and the value of your truck. The impact of customization and adds to your new or used truck that you're purchasing. Understanding the basics of FET or federal excise tax. How to move forward with your purchase or ordering your new truck. So in order to become an owner-operator, let's talk about a few things. Purchasing your truck, your first truck, can be challenging and sometimes very overwhelming. There are a lot of layers to the onion, so to speak, to peel apart to get you to the end goal, which is to own your own truck and to run your own business. My goal is to equip you with the necessary tools to be successful and profitable in your endeavors. Here are some of the things that you need to ask yourself. Do you have your own DOT authority or federal ID number? If you have an existing DOT or federal ID number, is it still active or up to date? I have had truck deals go bad because the DOT number was not available to them any further and they lost their loan because they weren't shown as their own authority. This is something that you need to make sure if you already carry your own DOT. If you don't have your own DOT, it's okay. We just need to know what authority you are going to partner with if you're going to get your own federal ID or DOT number, or if you're going to work for another company such as Landstar, Systems, Brisk, etc. Are you in the process of getting certified with any of these companies, and are they willing to help you financially? I had a situation come up where a customer was working on getting his finance, and he kept getting declined because the bank couldn't see where his money was. What we didn't realize is that he had a bank account through Landstar that was banking his money and was going to help him with his purchase. So this was something that turned the whole loan process around to his advantage. Understanding your capabilities. This is not like purchasing a car or pickup. You are starting a business. The process is more in depth than you realize. I have a lot of people who come to me and they feel like they might be able to get approved for a loan and walk off the lot with the truck the same day. This is not the case. The banks are going to want to know what you are all about and how you're going to be able to be a good investment to them. One of the first things they need to know is how long you've been in business. If you're under 2 years in business, you've got to be prepared to provide additional information. I need to know if there are any other co-buyers that you're partnering with or anything else that might come up along the way. One of the other things that's really important is how long have you had your CDL. This is important in the loan process, so you have to be prepared to provide this information. Are you going to purchase new or used? Okay, before I introduce you to my financial loan officer of over 30 years to help you get the loan for your new truck, one of the first things that we need to consider is to pick a truck to build your loan structure around. This may or may not be the truck that you finally choose, but what it does is it helps us build a foundation so that we can get the process started. The other thing that you have to do is you have to fill out a credit application to see where we stand. I have a lot of people who call me and they give me a long dissertation on what they've done, what their capabilities are. The problem is that I have no bearing as to whether or not you're going to be able to get a loan. We have to fill out a credit application to see where you stand. What other items may be included in the loan? Are you going to be adding trailers, APUs, paint, drop visors, etc.? These are the things that we need to have a brief understanding. It doesn't have to be an exact dollar amount right away, but just to know what we might be getting ourselves into is going to help us. Your credit score will not fully dictate your credit approval on a truck. However, credit scores under 700 will definitely not help you. Know your credit history before you start. It is very easy to pull a credit report and find out if there are some chinks in the armor, so to speak, on what's been going on. Many times people start this process and they don't have knowledge that something may be happening on the back of the end of their credit. Slow payments, late payments, back child support will kill your opportunity. If you are declined, don't get upset. This is a way to use it as a learning experience and to make sure that when you come back around that you're able to get financed the next go around. I've had a lot of people who have used this as a tool to get a better understanding of where they stand financially, and they've come back to me in 3 to 6 months to purchase a truck and everything went very smoothly. Most times lenders just need more information. They only see what is on paper. Continuing with how to get a loan, I want to talk about your down payment expectations. Your down payment is not set in stone. Very rarely will a 0% down payment be approved. I have a ton of people who call me who are used to going in and buying a car off of a car lot, basically a sign and drive, and believing that they can come in and buy a $100,000 to $180,000 truck with a 0% down payment. I've only witnessed this happen with fleet buyers or long-term repeat buyers. So to give an idea of what you may want to know for your down payment is the rule of thumb is they're going to ask for $1,000 to $1,500 down payment per $10,000 finance. So if you're financing a $100,000 truck, the starting point, depending on how your credit looks, is going to be based off of that. So if you're financing a $100,000 truck, just know that you may have to have $15,000 down. It may even be up to 20 or 25% down, which would be $20,000 or $25,000. This is all dependent upon some of the following items. We don't want you to get too hung up on the interest rate on your first loan. Many people get upset about this because in the car industry they can get low interest rates. You got to remember that the bank is looking at you as a business investment. So this is going to be a little bit different. But what I do want you to understand is break down your daily cost. So if let's say that your truck payment is $2,600 a day and you work 20 days per month or 5 days a week, your cost of that truck is going to be $130 a day before insurance, trailer payment, and fuel. But this will give you a good understanding of how to isolate what it's going to cost you to be able to have that truck in your possession and be able to make the payment successfully. Be ready to offer written haul source references. A lot of guys who are fleet operators, they often build many relationships with the companies that they haul for through their fleet sources. Make sure to try to get everything that you can in writing from them and start building a resume on what your capabilities are. This will give the banks confidence in you. Be ready to provide tax returns, 3 months bank statements, or any other items that we require. Be honest about prior repos, bankruptcies. If they're there, provide detailed explanation in writing of what your resolutions are or what you're going to do to get them resolved. Understand your local taxes and be prepared to pay registration fees. I have many people who come to me who have purchased a truck, and when they have to pay their local registration tax in their own states or counties, they're caught off guard. Make sure that you understand what in your state or county or city the additional registration fees that are going to cost over and above the FET tax. We typically do not charge tax out of state. Understand the difference between leasing or renting versus ownership. Leasing or renting is a much higher cost. It may get you a lower payment, but in the end, it gives you very little control over what you can do. If you have to get out of a lease payment in the middle of the lease term agreement, you may put yourself in jeopardy of being very far upside down on that truck. Always be cognizant of what your monthly payment is going to be. Just remember, you are a calculated risk to a lender. You've got to give them a reason to invest in you and your business. When they see your application on paper, They don't see you as a human being, is all they look for is what type of investment you're going to be to them. It sounds kind of harsh and cruel, but this is the reality of the world that we live in now. Okay, now that we've learned a little bit about the loan process, let's talk about the fact that you may need to trade your truck in. One of the things that you need to know is you need to understand your trade. Is it an asset or a liability to you? One of the things you need to know is your current payoff before we even discuss the trade. I have a lot of people who call me and they don't have an idea. A quick phone call to your bank that is carrying the current loan on your truck is going to be greatly helpful information to your truck sales specialist, especially myself. I know that that's something that I absolutely need to know before we can move any further forward in giving you a good value on your trade. What is the difference between wholesale versus retail? A lot of guys have a good understanding of what their truck may be worth in the retail market, but when we offer a trade, it's always going to be wholesale. So if we're not able to give you what you expect on your trade, then we have other options, okay? So don't be afraid to share your expectations with us. I have so many people who say, won't give me an idea of what they would like to have on their trade. Well, that actually hinders or hurts the process for me to be able to get you what you want. My goal is to give you what you need so that we can facilitate a deal and get you into a new truck. I may offer you a trade number on your truck. If I can't meet your needs, we have options. So please don't get discouraged. Let's just talk it out and figure out a way. I have other methods that I might be able to get you a little bit better number for your truck. But we just have to be open and honest with each other through the process. I cannot offer you any numbers in writing on your truck unless I get a formal appraisal done. If I don't give you an appraisal, there are no guarantees. I can't even tell you how many people have called me through the past couple years and have told me that another dealer has offered them X amount of dollars for their truck, but nobody can ever seem to get it in writing. The reason you're not going to get it in writing is because you don't have an appraisal done. Even if you're in another state, I have a way to get you an appraisal sheet. We can fill it out together, and I can give you a number in writing on what your truck is worth for a trade value, okay? So please understand that I have to get the appraisal done. Many people call and it seems like we just go in circles because we can't get this done. Okay, so if you're ordering a truck, have realistic expectations while you're waiting for your new truck to arrive. So for example, we will offer you a trade value on your truck, but if it takes 3 or 4 months for your truck to arrive, obviously things are going to change, the economy is going to change, and so we have to make kind of preparations for that. The good news is when we have time on our side, we can actually maybe pre-sell your truck or offer a better number before your truck arrives. This is something that can be an asset to us and not a liability. Okay, so when you're offering a trade, your maintenance records on your engines and your trucks are like papers on a thoroughbred racehorse. Especially guys who are running the pre-emissions trucks and they're wanting to trade those in. A Caterpillar engine with papers or a Cummins engine with papers is like gold. These are things that are really going to help you in getting a better value for your trade. Any maintenance records you can provide me are going to be greatly appreciated and helpful. One of the other things that I've had happen when I ordered a truck, I've had guys bring trucks in and the tires were bald. So one of the things that I need to make sure that you guys are 100% aware of when we're doing a trade on your truck and you're waiting for your order truck to come in, we do have expectations on what type of tires you will have to have on that truck. We do not accept recaps, and there are certain uh, depth that we have to have in order for that. If we don't, and if you can't make those guarantees, then what we're going to do is we're going to take and make concessions in your trade value to be able to put the necessary tires on to make that truck sellable. All right, now that we've picked out a truck and you want to do some customization, there's some pros and cons to consider. You need to try at all costs to pay cash for your own custom work if possible. If you look at the truck in the background, the gentleman that bought that truck paid cash. One of the reasons why is because FET charges may apply, including labor. You are required by law to report to the IRS a certain amount of ads that are added to your truck that are permanent fixtures. You have to be a little bit careful on this. Do you want to pay interest on your loan for your custom options? We can add this into the loan. You just have to be careful on the choices you make because it could make the truck more expensive than what the bank is willing to take a loan on. Always making clear, concise choices at this point is a very, very good thing to consider. The other thing you always want to watch out for is with drop visors, lights, other items, etc. These are all target points for the DOT inspectors to watch for on your truck. The more lights you have, the more lights that can go out. Always be cognizant of that. I've also been running into cases where certain states will look for 14-inch drop visors and consider them a liability. I've even heard rumors that they'll make you take them off. So just be careful on what you choose. Your choices on your custom upgrades may or may not have an effect for your trade value. You can always customize as you own the truck. The great thing about Peterbilts is there's a lot of bolt-on parts, so you can add these things at a later time. Don't put your loan in jeopardy. Let's talk about FET and its history. The federal excise tax, or as I commonly refer to it as the federal extortion tax, started in 1917 as voluntary tax at 3% to help fund World War I, and it is now charged to you involuntarily at 12%. It is due to expire in the year 2022, and I strongly encourage that you contact your representative and start educating yourself on what it is and how we can try to get it repealed. The 12% FET applies to all new first sale trucks over 33,000 GVW capacity. Used trucks do not apply after the applicable time. Truck bodies or permanent fixtures are also charged FET on any truck over 33,000 pounds, including dump bodies, roll-off, trash bodies, etc. Now, if you were to take an old dump box that you've already paid FET on and put it on a new truck, you will have to pay FET on the new truck. However, you will not have to pay FET on the existing dump body. If you have questions about FET, please contact me and we can discuss this in more detail. FET may apply to accessories and labor on your new truck as discussed in the previous slide. APU units are not FET applicable as they aid in the emissions reductions, thus they are exempt. Now that we're ready to move forward with a truck purchase, I want to talk to you, number one, about the requirements for holding a stock truck. I will need a signed sales order, a deposit check, and a finance approval or a letter from your bank stating that you're going to pay cash. I'm not able to accept credit cards for down payment or for payments on trucks. If you have any questions about this, give me a call and I'll explain the reasons why. If you're going to order a new truck, I will need a signed sales order, a deposit check, a finance approval, and again, a letter from your bank if you're going to pay cash. I also need to sign off on the final specification before your order. We need to be 100% certain of all the options you're going to choose on your truck. If something comes up, change orders are available. We just have to be clear that there are deadlines that we have to meet in order to make any necessary changes on your truck, or there may be fees that will be applied if we have not able to meet those time frames. I also wanted to share with you at that time the time frame and the expectations on when your truck will arrive. Peterbilt is very good at meeting deadlines on building the truck. There are some logistical limitations we have on getting the truck to the dealership. Then we also have time to do the PDI and the upfit. I will always be very clear and honest with you on exactly what to expect through this process. I hope this presentation was useful to you and give you the necessary tools to help you be successful in acquiring your next truck. If you have any questions, give me a call. My name is JW. I'm at 970-518-5520 or shoot me an email at wyattj@rushenterprises.com. You guys have a great 2020 and I hope you are successful in all your endeavors, and please let me know if there's any way I can help you. Have a great day.